श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। जय सीताराम everyone. Let me extend a very warm, very cordial welcome to each and every one of you this morning. Those of you who have joined us face to face here at the Mandir on 43rd Street, and those of you who are viewing us online, either on YouTube or on Facebook, Shubh Swagatam. We extend a very warm welcome to all indeed. This morning we've come in the presence of Bhagwan to offer our love, to offer our adorations, indeed to surrender ourselves completely. This morning, whatever troubles we may have, whatever anxieties we may be facing, let us offer that to Bhagwan. And let us trust in his intervention in our lives. If there's a reason for us to celebrate, as we indeed all should be celebrating this gift of life and the ability to have all of our faculties intact, then indeed let us also give thanks to God for those blessings. I invite us all to now stand as we engage in invocation, mantra, and as we surrender ourselves completely to Bhagwan. Let us assume that position of reverence, that prayerful attitude and demeanor. Let us gaze at the murtis before us in whichever form we find most endearing, most appealing to us. Let us gaze on that form of the divine. Look at that murti before you, the smiling countenance of Bhagwan, and capturing that image in your heart and in your mind. Let us go within now. Hari Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvara Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaragaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandramabhirase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Om Manojvam Marutatulyabhegyam Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanadayutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shri Namami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Mehdiye, let us resume our seats. Let us now glorify Bhagwan through the medium of Kirtan, as indeed we propitiate Ganesh Bhagwan in this opening bhajan.
Prabhu ji mere aavo, 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 Prabhu ji mere aavo. Bhajle Govind, Bhajle Govind, Bhajle Govindam. ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम। भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भज ले गोविंदम। प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, 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 प्रभु जी मेरे आओ। चारी ओरा मेरा भय उदासी, चारी ओरा मेरा भय उदासी। आँखिया हरि दर्शन की प्यासी, आँखिया हरि दर्शन की प्यासी। आपने प्यास मिटाओ, जियाओ बब आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ। आके प्यास मिटाओ, जियाओ बब आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे 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 आओ। बिनती तेरा प्रभु कोई न जाने, बिनती तेरा प्रभु कोई न जाने। प्रभु तुझे प्रभु कोई न जाने, प्रभु तुझे प्रभु कोई न जाने। आकुरलिया बजाओ, जियाओ प्रभु आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ। आकुरलिया बजाओ, जियाओ अब आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे 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 आओ। भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम। भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम, भजले गोविंदम, भजले गोविंदम।
Rems Bole Bindraban Bihari Lal Ki Jai. We continue with Kirtan as we glorify Bhagwan. Let us all join together. Let us clap and let us sing as we glorify the name of Prabhu.
We join in reciting the mantras of the Shiv Chalisa. Jai Ganesh Girija Suvan Mangal Mool Sujan Kahat Ayodhya Das Tum Dehu Abhay Vardhan Har Har Jai Shankar Om Har 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 Jai Shankar Om Har Har Jai Girijapati Deen Dayala Sada Karat Santan Pratipala Bhal Chandrama Sohatni Ke Kanan Kundal Nagabhani Ke Anga Gaur Shir Ganga Bahai Mund Mal Tan Char Akalai Vastra Khal Bagambar Sohi Jabhi ko dekh Nag Muni Mohi
हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। मेरा मातृ की हो विदुलारी वाम अंग सोहत छवि न्यारी। कर त्रिशूल सोहत छवि भारी करत सदा शत्रुन जयकारी। नंदी गणेश सोहितः कैसी सागर मध्य कमल है जैसी। कार्तिक श्याम और गणराऊ या छवि को कहीं जात न खाऊ। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। जीवन जब ही जाए पुकारा तब ही दुख प्रभु आप निवारा। किया उपद्रव तारक भारी देवन सब मिली तुम ही चुहारी। चूरत सदन आप पठायो लवणी मेष महामारी गिरायो। आप जलंधर असुर संहारा सुयश तुम्हार विदित संसारा। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। त्रिपुरासुर सन युद्ध मचाई सब ही कृपा कर लीन बचाई। किया तप ही भागीरथ भारी पूर्व प्रतिज्ञाता सुपुरारी। धनी न महन तुम सब कोई नाही सेवक स्तुति करत सदाही। वीर नाम महिमा तब गाई अखत अनादि भेद नहीं पाई। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। हर हर जय शंकर
ओम हर हर।
प्रगट उधि माथन में ज्वाला जरी सुरासुर भय विहाला। हीन दया तह काई सहाई नीलकंठ तब नाम कहाई। पूजन रामचंद्र जब कीन्हा जीत के लंक विभीषण दीन्हा। सहस कमल में हो रहे धारी दीन परीक्षा तब ही पुरारी। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर हर। एक कमल प्रभु राखियो जोई कमल नयन पूजन चह सोई। कठिन भक्ति देखी प्रभु शंकर भई प्रसन्न दिए चितवर। जय 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 अनंत अविनाशी करत कृपा सबके घटवासी। दुष्ट सकल नित मोहि सतावे भ्रमरित रही मोहि चैन नावे हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर त्राहि त्राहि में नाथ पुकारो यही अवसर मोहियान उबारो गए त्रिशूल शत्रुन को मारो संकट से मोहियान उबारो मात पिता भ्राता सब होई संकट में पूछत नहीं कोई स्वामी एक है आश तुम्हारी आए हरहु अब संकट भारी हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर धन निर्धन को देत सदाई जो कोई जाची सो फल पाई स्तुति कही विधि करूं तुम्हारी क्षमहु नाथ अब चूक हमारी शंकर हो संकट के नाशन विघ्न विनाशन मंगल कारण योगी यति मुनि ध्यान लगावे शारद नारद शीश नवावे हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर नमो नमो जय नमो शिवाय सुर ब्रह्मादिक पार न पाया जो यह पाठ करे मन लाई तापर होत है शंभु सहाई दुनिया जो कोई हो अधिकारी पाठ करे सो पावन हारी पुत्रहीन कर इच्छा कोई निश्चय शिव प्रसाद नहीं होई हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर पंडित त्रयोदशी जो कोई लावे ध्यान पूर्वक होम करावे त्रयोदशी व्रत करे हमेशा तन नहीं ताकि रहे कलेशा धूप दीप नैवेद चढ़ावे शंकर सन्मुख पाठ सुनावे जन्म जन्म के पाप नसावे अंतवास शिवपुर में पावे कहया अयोध्या आस तुम्हारी जान सकल दुख हरो हमारी जय 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 त्रिपुरारी आए हैं हम शरण तुम्हारी हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर नित्य नेम करि प्रात ही पाठ करे 40 तुम मेरी मानो कामना पूर्ण करो जगदीश मत्सर च्युति मंत्र तू सन्मत जो सत जान स्तुति 40 शिव ही पूर्ण की कल्याण
प्रेम से बोली उमापति महादेव की जय. We are firmly within this most auspicious month of Shravan, a month that is dedicated indeed to the worship of Shankar Bhagwan and the performance of his puja. When we gaze at Shankar Bhagwan's murti and form, nirgun, sagun, that with form, that without, we have before us both the murti of Shivji as well as the lingam. And we are reminded of the very wonderful philosophy that is contained in our scriptures, particularly Shiv Mahapuran. When we look at the form of Shankar Bhagwan, and I invite you to do so at this point, you see him sitting very, very peacefully. He's there very calm, he's very peaceful, he's in a state of composure and a meditative state. Yet the irony and paradoxes around him, we see things that we might find disturbing or frightful. He wears a garland of skulls. Around his neck is a serpent. And for you and I, if we were to encounter things like this, his very nature and those of his companions, the gunners, would indeed be very frightful and very disturbing. Yet in the midst of it all, he is very peaceful. Very often in life, brothers and sisters, we ask ourselves this question, and more often we find young people asking themselves this question at some point in time as they grow up. Why am I here? And what is my purpose? Sometimes that question perplexes most, if not all of us, about what is our purpose and why am I here? And sometimes persons get lost in terms of trying to ascertain the answer to that question, and they get caught up, as we would say, in the maya, in the pursuit of relationships and in the pursuit of material pleasures, forgetting that we are here for a greater purpose. During this month of Shravan, we are firmly reminded of that purpose. And our purpose, if we were to state it very succinctly, our purpose in life is to be happy. That is our purpose. The difficulty is finding out how do we get to that objective. What makes us happy? So if you were to ask persons at different phases of their lives, what makes you happy? For the toddler, it would be getting their bottle on time, or being in the companion of their mom or their dad or whoever it may be that they are very much close to. It might be their toys. As you get older, the young ones and the teenagers and so on, being happy means that I should have my independence, that I should be well-liked in my circle of friends, I should be popular. I should not only be the part, but I should look the part, and therefore many young people are caught up in those types of activities leading to that. Am I popular? Am I within the in crowd? How many persons are following me on social media? How do I look? All of these things become very, very important in the pursuit of happiness. As we get older still, young ones, as they move into adulthood, then become inclined by position, meaning what type of job, what type of trajectory they have in terms of a career. That is what becomes important. And intertwined with that will be, how much do I earn? What is my earning potential? What can I acquire? For many young people, the first thing when they get a job is, I want to buy a car or something like that, and all of the clothes and so on. And that to them is really what happiness is about. Am I able to travel the world? Am I able to have all of the wonderful clothes? And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that becomes the fixation of our existence. And it becomes to us, for those persons and for younger ones as you grow up, the things that make you happy. As you continue to grow older, it is my children then that would make me happy. Do I have children? How many children do I have? What are they doing? Am I growing them up well? Are they excelling in school, in sports, in arts? And those are the things that become, as parents, the things that make us happy. And we go on and on and on, chasing that elusive goal of happiness. And for many persons, when happiness doesn't come at any stage in that pathway, then anxiety and depression and things of that nature set in. I am unable to cope. I am depressed because I am not happy. And then the question becomes, well, what is it that then cures that? And far too often, people then veer away from the path of dharma to various things that they use in lieu of that happiness, whether it is substances or other types of activities in the chase and in the pursuit of that elusive goal. Very firmly entrenched with that is the whole concept of desire. In Sanatana Dharma, we speak of calm. Calm doesn't mean love only. It means desire. There's nothing wrong with desire. It is a question of what are we desiring. So if you desire God and to be one with God, that is a beautiful thing. But if I desire material things and it leads me down a different pathway, then that's not such a good thing. What moves then from unfulfilled desire? Think of your own selves. If there's something that I want and I don't get, how do I feel after that? And 99.9% of the times we feel angry. So desire and anger are very firmly linked with each other. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagwan tells us this in chapter 5, verse 23. It is the wise man who is able to rid himself of that desire and that anger. And if he does so, he becomes a yogi. He's happy. And that is what we should be doing before we exit this physical body. That is our purpose. So you might be asking yourself, well, that Pandit started off talking about Shravan, and we end up with Bhagavad Gita. And I go back to Shankar Bhagwan. Because sometimes we find Sanatana Dharma to be very confusing. We're talking about Shankar Bhagwan, we're talking about he's the pathway, we speak of Bhagavad Gita, that is the pathway. We're going into the festival of Ganesh Utsav very shortly, that is the pathway. Then we go into Navaratri, that is the pathway. What is the pathway? And sometimes people become very confused by it all. The pathway is one, Ekam Sat. The way in which we achieve those goals are different, depending upon our own inclinations. So for some people, their inclination is Shankar Bhagwan. And therefore this mantra Shravan and the worship and offering of puja to Shankar Bhagwan is the epitome of that pathway leading to those goals. For others, it is the Divine Mother. And so periods of Navaratri and fasting along those lines are very, very efficacious in order to lead to those pathways. Different, but the same. For others still, it is Vishnu Bhagwan in his various forms and manifestations. That is why Ekadashi is such an important vrat, because it then leads to that pathway. The point is, we must understand the pathways, we must choose a pathway, and we must follow that pathway. That is the important thing. So very often in life, we miss that point. Nobody here, of course. And there are many persons that get distracted and become sidetracked in terms of different pathways. And so the material pursuits and the physical pleasures, which are very often unfulfilled, remain that fixation throughout their life. So much so that at the end of their life, they feel unfulfilled, because that really is not the be-all and end-all. Our purpose, remember, is to be happy. And we can read many biographies and autobiographies of very great persons, and they will tell you the same thing but in a different way. Very often they would admit that sometimes I was so caught up with the material pleasures that I forgot what the true purpose is. The more we have, the more we want. And that is a desire that cannot be fulfilled. Think of a little child. Take that child into a toy store. And if you leave that child unchecked, they will want every single toy in that toy store. Not so? Think back to the days. And that's why very often parents would avoid the toy stores. I don't want to go in there because I'll spend too much money. Or going into this toy store, you set the parameters immediately. Okay, we're going in there, but you could only have one toy. And we go in there with that objective and you come out with a bag full because the child is not satisfied with one toy. And it's the same thing for us as individuals. In this life, it's like a big toy store. The more we see, the more we want. The more we have, the more we have to get. And that is the maya that we get caught up in, forgetting our true purpose. Sometimes we lose sight of what is truly important. To be happy, yes, but how do we get to that point? And so, during this month of Shravan, we are reminded of the certain things that we should pursue. Fasting. Last week we spoke about it. There were some distractions, so maybe our mind was not attuned to what was being said. So we fast during this month to give us that ability to cleanse ourselves not only physically but mentally. Fasting has that potential, but not to the extreme. There are some persons who become fanatical about fasting, and then they too lose the pathway. There's also now the prescription about the performance of certain pujas. Why? Because again, that allows us to attune not only our mind, but the physical activity of performing the puja. Many teachers will tell you that the most effective way of teaching someone is not simply speaking, but doing it as well. Uncle Ajoda is a retired educator, he will tell you. For some students, for example, looking at things, visual, that is the way in which they learn. Hearing things, the audio, that is the way in which they learn. But for many, many, that is reinforced by the actual practicing. Doing it, and repeatedly doing it. Auntie Vayo, we were speaking this morning about her very popular video about preparation of pon, which is on YouTube as part of the Mandir's program of activities and so on. And she'll be doing more videos, so you could look out for it. If she were to tell me, Rudy, you know, this is how you do pon, you know. These are the ingredients you have, and this is how you do it, and so on. And she shows me a picture of all of the grated cassava and all of the various things. Now, I love pon. I love Auntie Vayo's pon too. I will appreciate what she's saying. I might even understand it, but I ain't make a pon yet. It is only when I actually get it, when I get into the whole concept of doing the things that she's told me, of using the ingredients, of following the recipe, in other words, the activity of doing, that I actually have the end product. Yes? So we could speak about various forms of devotion to Bhagwan, but unless and until we do it, we will not derive the pearl or the fruit of what we are being told in our scriptures. So understanding, knowing, but importantly, doing is important. So in the month of Shravan, we are told of puja, we are told of meditation, we are told of japam. These are the things we are told, but the question then becomes, we hear it, maybe we listen, but do we do it? And do we do it regularly? Because that is the only way in which we will perfect it. Think of if we wanted, like the young persons, we want to have that physical appearance that is toned and lean and muscular and whatever else. So what do? We say, all right, we have to get into an exercise program. We have to go to the gym. If I go to the gym once for a month, and then I do whatever I want for the rest of the 30 days, you think that's going to make a difference? Absolutely not. If I were to go to the gym once a week, but for the other 6 days I do whatever I want, I eat whatever I want, again, some effect, but not as much. But if I were to go to the gym 3 or 5 times for the week, or I exercise 3 or 5 times for the week, then I see a difference. Then I see the effect. And so if we can appreciate that on a physical, and it's easy because then we see the biceps, we see the abs, we see all the different things, right? but we don't see the evolution and the upliftment spiritually. How do we gauge that? If you were to look in the mirror, Vedant, and you see the muscles, you say, all right, progress, right? But how do you gauge your spiritual progress? How do we gauge our spiritual progress? It is by our attitude, demeanor, and reaction. When we are progressing spiritually, you find yourself peaceful more often than not. You find yourself contented more often than not. You find yourself being able to be empathetic to those around you more often than not. And that's how you gauge your spiritual progress. You're less angry. When confronted with a situation, you don't react. You think and you act in an appropriate way. And that's how you gauge your spiritual progress. By what you do, how you think, how you speak, how you act. And we could tell that. There are some persons that you know that they are spiritually enlightened and evolved, and you are very happy to be in their presence. Just being in their presence makes you feel better. And yet there are other persons who have not yet and are in a different pathway, and you want to avoid them at all costs. That person, I don't even want to see them because they make me feel. They're very negative, you hear people say. So we are able to discern that, and that's what distinguishes us from animals, because we have that power of discrimination, we have that knowledge, we have that ability. It is really just for us to do the spiritual workouts. So instead of the 10 push-ups a day, do the japam. Instead of taking all of the supplements, engage in some fasting. And that's the equivalent. And you will see the results for yourselves in terms of that progress. And that is why, brothers and sisters, we have all of these various prescriptions for us in terms of pujas and in terms of religious observances. I always recall overhearing a gentleman speaking, me, if I had to follow the Hindu calendar, as he said, I will be fasting all the time. And I thought, well, that's the point. That is the point. Because that's the start of where you need to be going. So we have various festivals that are prescribed for us depending upon whichever pathway you pursue. So if you are a bhakt of the Divine Mother, then you fast certain days every month. There's Navratri 4 times for the year. Various festivals that allow you to go that pathway. If you are Shankar Bhagwan Bhakt, then there's Pradosh twice for the month. There are other fasts. There's a Shivratri every month. There's Mahashivratri. There's the month of Shravan. If you are Vaishnavite and you are going along that way again, Ekadashi, various things that you perform monthly, and then you have the various other festivals and so on that are prescribed. So we have the prescriptions before us. So this morning, regardless of the tradition or inclination, I want us to engage in a little bit of practice. Remember, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 23. Krishna Bhagwan tells us if we are able to conquer desire, then we will be able to conquer anger. And if we are able to conquer anger, then we are along the path to being a happy individual. Think about it. Desire is the root cause in anything. I like that girl, but she don't like me back. So I become angry. Nobody else could have that girl. And where does that leave us in terms of domestic violence and other things? Yeah? Many, many pathways start with that. I like that particular shoes. I can't afford it, so I will steal it. I want these things. I'm not working. I'm not able to afford it, so I will go and take it forcefully. So a lot of our problems, indeed if not all of them, start with desire. So when you are unhappy, you must ask yourself, we must all ask ourselves, why am I unhappy? And if we keep asking ourselves why, well, I'm unhappy because somebody did this, right? Yes, but why did that make you unhappy? And you keep asking that why, you'll eventually come back to the point that it is a question of desire. Desire to be liked, desire to be respected, desire to be loved. Nothing wrong with those things, but then why does it make you angry? Why does it make you angry? And those are the things that we're told about. So this morning, I want us to gaze at that murti of Shankar Bhagwan, and just before him, the lingam. I'll invite Amral to just pull that image up. I think Shankar Bhagwan looks better on screen than I do. And let us gaze at that form. And we're going to engage very briefly in this opportunity presented to us that we've come to Mandir, that we are viewing, to engage in puja to Shankar Bhagwan. Not completely Manas puja, but a hybrid. So I want you to sit upright. Leave your eyes open. You can either gaze at the screen or you could gaze at the murti. But fix your gaze on that divine form. And we're going to recite that syllable Om 3 times, and then we will engage in puja to Bhagwan. Very briefly, but hopefully very meaningfully. Let us begin. Om. Breathe in again. Again. We offer to Bhagwan our pratna. O Prabhu, we welcome you into our heart. We welcome you into our lives. We recognize you within us at all times. Savahan. Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Saravasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Om Sambra Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaha Avahiyami Stapyami Dhayami Pujayami Namo Namaham. We offer water now. Visualize that we are washing the feet of Bhagwan. We are washing his hands. We are offering him water to drink. And then finally we are bathing that murti with our love. Hari Om Sri Samba Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaha Padyo Padyam Samarpyami Hastorgyam Samarpyami Achmanyam Samarpyami Snanam Samarpyami Hari Om Om Papuham Papkarmam Papatma Papasambhava Trahimam Pundarikaksham Sarva Papa Haruhari Gangeshcha Yamune Shaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jali Asmin Sannadhina Kuru. Having bathed the murti, we offer now that gift of clothing. Symbolically, we offer this material object to you, Prabhu, seeking your blessings and fulfillment of all of our material needs as well. Hari Om Shri Sambra Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaha Bhastram Samarpyami Pavastram Samarpe Bhir Sukte Samayukte Yagyasamassamanvite Sarvavaride Parireva Vasasi Patigrihidam. We now adorn Bhagwan. We offer these ornaments to you, the ornaments of Chandan. We offer to you the ornament of that essence. We offer to you Hardi, we offer to you Sindur as we decorate you, as we adorn you, Prabhu. We do so with our love. Hari Om Shri Sambra Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaham Shri Kanda Chandanam Devyam Gandayam Sumanoharam Vilepanam Sureshtam Shri Chandanam Patigredam. We next offer that divine scent to Shivji Bhagwan. Hari Om Shri Sambra Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaha Gandam Samarpe Hardi Hardira Sarvabhya Subhagya Dhayani Sarvalankar Mukyami Devitam Patigrihidam Sinduram Shubhanam Raktam Subhagyam Sukvaram Shubharam Kamaram Jaivam Sinduram Patigrihidam. You offer that Janev to Shankar Bhagwan. Om Yagyopavitam Paramam Pavitram Prajapatirat Purashtat Yagyopavitam Balmastutejaha Yagyopavitam Samarpe. You sprinkle grains of rice on him. Om Akshatashta Shureshura Kumkumata Shushobita Men Vidya Grihana Parameshuram Akshatam Samarpe. Now importantly, you offer that Belapatra on Shankar Bhagwan. Om Tridulam Trigunakaram Trinitram Tratriyayudam Trijanma Papasmaraharam Belapatram Shivarpanam Belapatram Samarpe. Offer the most beautiful flower. Visualize that you have the most beautiful, most fragrant flower, a symbol of your love which you are offering to the Lord. Shri Samrasida Shivaya Bhyo Namaha Malyadini Sugandini Malyatyadini Vai Prabhu Mehertani Piratam Pushpani Patigritam Shri Samrasida Shivaya Bhyo Namaha Pushpam Samarpe. That very divine scent in the form of agarbati, lit and fragrant, permeating the atmosphere, uplifting, inspiring, and indeed worshipping Bhagwan as we offer. Om Shri Samrasada Shivaya Bhyo Namo Namaha Dupam Darshami Hari Om Banaspatir Rasodbhutam Gandhayu Gandhutama Argya Devanam Dhupoyam Patigritam. You're now offering Arati. With that flame that is ignited, that flame of our love in our heart, we offer to Bhagwan as we perform Arati to Him, as we ask Him to illumine our lives with that divine light, to remove all darkness from our mind and in our heart. Let us indeed be illuminated by His divine presence and love. Hari Om Shri Samrasada Shivaya Bhyo Namaha. Om Sumuhukasya Karantasya Kapilokachakaranaka Lambhodarasya Vikato Vignashaka. Om Samrasada Shivaya Bhyo Namaha Yani Kani Cha Papani Janmantarkritani Cha Tani Tani Vinashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Dhupam Darshamiryum Dhupam Darshe. We offer Naivedyam now, which has been prepared by us, a symbol once more of our love. O Prabhu, we make this offering to you. We ask for the fulfillment of all legitimate desires, all legitimate hopes and aspirations. Please fulfill those, O Prabhu. Om Naivedyam Gretam Devam Bhaktim Mehe Chalam Guru Epistam Ja Param Dehi Param Ja Param Gatim. Offering that Naivedyam to Bhagwan, we then offer Achman to him. Om Sarvatirta Samayuktam Sugandim Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Mayaratam Grihana Parameshwaram Achmanyam Samarpe. You offer Tambulam Pungi Palamaya Devyam Naugalila Yuktam Ilana Chodani Samayuktam Tambulam Surpujitam Tambulam Samarpe. In the same manner that we have earned and are able to acquire material possessions, we offer that dakshina, that gift to Bhagwan, giving thanks to Him for all that He's given to us, all that He's blessed us with, both materially and spiritually. Hari Om Hiranyagarbha Garbhastami Ma Vivasavo Ananta Punya Plyarita Shantim Prachayame. Visualize now that you're offering to Bhagwan your love, your devotion, as we meditate on that wonderful mantra, as we chant in conclusion the Mahamrityunjay mantra. We chant together. Hari Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshiya Mamritat. Bolo Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshiya Mamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshiya Mamritat. Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Om Namah Shambhavaya cha Mayo Bhavaya cha. Namah Shankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha. Namah Shivaya cha Shivataraya cha. Om Shri Sambra Sadashivaya Bhyo Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem Swali Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. What good fortune we've had to perform his puja this morning, albeit in this manner. And we ask for the blessings of Shankara Bhagavan. So whenever we feel agitated, whenever we feel anxious, whenever we feel angry, whenever we feel annoyed, that blessing of Bhagavan will be with us to return us once more to that very peaceful demeanor, that very calm demeanor, that we will have that shanti that we seek. And through that process, we will indeed be happy. I now invite you to come forward to perform your arati again. Remember, wearing the masks as we are all doing, maintaining the distancing, putting on the gloves and so on. When you complete, sanitize your hands and return once more to your seats. I invite you now as the group engages in Kirtan to come forward.
भोजन भजन भाष और ब्रेश सम हो रही न मन में क्लेश भोजन भजन भाष और ब्रेश सम हो रही न मन में क्लेश माने वेद आदेश लला
रघुपति राघव राजा राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम
भज मन निश दिन प्रातः शाम
भज मन निश दिन प्रातः शाम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
रहे दुरित दानवता दूर मन मानवता से भरपूर रहे दुरित दानवता दूर मन मानवता से भरपूर हर अंतर हो अमल आकार
रघुपति राघव राजा राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम
भज मन निश दिन प्रातः शाम
भज मन निश दिन प्रातः शाम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय
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 नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय
जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय
जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय
बाल सुशोभित निर्मल गंगा
भाल सुशोभित निर्मल गंगा
हरि कंठ में माल भुजंगा
परी कंठ में माल भुजंगा
गौरी गाज विभूति विराजे
गौरी गाज शरीर नंगा।
जय गिरीश जय
महाईश जगदीश ईश हरे नमः शिवाय। जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुखहारी हरे नमः शिवाय।
मस्तक पर चंद्रमा विराजे।
मस्तक पर चंद्रमा विराजे।
मूछ प्रदायक नेत्र सुहावे।
मोक्ष प्रदायक नेत्र सुहावे।
एक हाथ में त्रिशूल धारी।
एक हाथ में त्रिशूल धारी।
दूजे कर में डमरू साजे।
दूजे कर में डमरू साजे।
जय भीर
जय वीर जय महादेव कह रहे वेद हर नमः शिवाय। जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुखहारी हर नमः शिवाय।
सातो प्रभु विघ्नों के कारा।
आय तू प्रभु विघ्नों की काया।
दूर करो चिंता की धारा।
दूर करो चिंता की धारा।
लो निर्मल विवेक विनाशी।
दो निर्मल विवेक अविनाशी।
नित प्रति गाओ गान तुम्हारा।
नित प्रति गाऊं गान तुम्हारा।
जय उमेश
जय उमेश आदेश शेष प्रिय गंगाधर हर नमः शिवाय। जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुखहारी हर नमः शिवाय।
जय त्रिपुरारी
हारी भव भयहारी दुखहारी हर नमः शिवाय।
नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय।
नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय।
जय त्रिपुरारी भव भयहारी दुखहारी 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 हर नमः शिवाय।
We'll have one final bhajan before announcements.
चंद्रकलाधर साम सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्र सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्र सदा शिव
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भु महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
चन्द्रकलाधर साम्ब सदा शिव
शम्भु महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शिव शम्भो महादेवा
Prem Bole Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Just prior to standing for announcements, so again this morning I want to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who attended physically, and for those of you who have joined us on either on YouTube or Facebook, Shubh Swagatam. Once more, we extend a very warm welcome to you. A reminder that we have Sunday morning satsang and puja every Sunday morning from 8:30. Those of you who would like to sit to perform Hawan on a Sunday morning, as Amrita did this morning, or if you would like to perform puja on a Sunday morning, then I invite you to see Mrs. Rama Umrao, who's seated at the front, or Mr. Gangadin Sinanan, either of those two, and you can indicate your interest and the arrangements can be made. Those of you who would like to make contributions towards the upkeep and maintenance of the mandir, those are always welcome. So you could see those of you who are here physically, you can see Mr. Sinanan or Mrs. Neela Maharaj or Treasurer either after service, either of those two persons. Or those of you who are viewing online and would like to make contributions, we would most definitely welcome those as well. You would see the information, the banking information running across the ticker tape, and you can make the direct deposits to those account information details that have been provided to the account of the mandir, and receipts would be provided. So we would welcome any donations that you'd make, because it assists us in the upkeep and, as I said, the maintenance of the mandir. We regularly have expenses to meet, recurrent and others that we have to meet on a monthly basis. Those of you who may be celebrating your birthdays or anniversaries, we want to extend very special congratulations to you. May Bhagwan continue to bless you. And I want to this morning extend commendations and congratulations to a young man who comes to Mandir with his parents every Sunday. He represented Trinidad and Tobago on the national junior squash team, and he recently took part in a competition held in Guyana, and the team placed third. So we want to extend congratulations to Varad Maharaj, who represented Trinidad and Tobago with distinction in the junior squash championships held in Guyana. May we all enjoy a very productive, very peaceful week ahead, bearing in mind we have upcoming events in the month of August. We will be having Janmashtami on the 18th of August, and we will be having Ganesh Utsav and so on. We will be having prior to that our observance of Raksha Bandhan, which will be observed in mid-August, and Ganesh Utsav, we've been told, will start on the 30th of August, but the Murti will be brought to the Mandir on Sunday the 28th. And we will go straight until the 9th of September with the conclusion of Ganesh Utsav. So bear those dates in mind. You'll be getting more details as the time approaches. And we look forward to seeing you all here with us. Please extend the invitation. I know it's a still transitionary time. Persons are a little still apprehensive about coming out and being here, but I can assure you that things at the Mandir are very safe. And once you maintain the protocols and so on, you have no need to fear. So please encourage those persons who we haven't seen for some time because of that apprehension to please feel safe in coming out to the Mandir, and to encourage others who may not have been here before to be and join with us. It is indeed a wonderful experience when we can engage in fellowship and when we can engage in that united offering of our love and puja to Bhagwan. So that invitation is extended. Let us all now stand for final arti, and then we will have closing prayer.
Om Jai Jagadish Hari
Swami Jai Jagadish Hari भक्त जनों की संकट नास जनों की संकट क्षण में दूर करी ओम जय जगदीश हरि जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरि तुम मेरी शरण कहूँ किसकी, स्वामी शरण कहूँ किसकी, तुम बिन और न दूजा, तुम बिन और न दूजा, आश करूँ जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम हो वेग अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति, किस विधि मिलो दया में, किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुम हो मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Hari Om. As we clasp our hands, close our eyes and bow heads in prayer. O Prabhu, we've come before you this morning to offer our love, to offer our puja, to surrender ourselves completely to you, to seek your forgiveness for any transgressions that we've made, and to ask for your inspiration as we go forward. We ask for your protection. We ask for your guidance. O Prabhu, we pray this morning not only for ourselves, but we pray for those persons who may be ill, those persons who may be afflicted in some way, those persons who are facing trying and difficult times of whatever kind. Give them that strength and courage to overcome those difficulties. For those persons who've lost their loved ones, give them that strength to continue on. Guide those who are on a path that is deviant, that they may correct the error of their ways and once more be returned to you. For you are mother, you are father, you are family, you are friend. O Prabhu, you are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us. We surrender ourselves completely. Let's join together, brothers and sisters, in this closing prayer. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Seka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asatu Ma Sargamaya Dhammaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बिंद्रावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय। Turn to those around you, सब कोई जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम. May you have a very powerful, very productive week ahead. We look forward to seeing you all with us again next Sunday. Jai Sitaram all.